Okay, so we'll continue from where we had left yesterday. So before that, we'll have a quick recap of what we had learned. The first thing, we talk about the ethics, professional ethics. So there are two parts to it. One part is coming from the International Ethical Standard Board, which is your fundamental principles. So there are 5 fundamental principles. Then second, there are threats. So conceptual framework says that you have to identify the threats. How many threats? There are 5 types of threats. Evaluate them. That means put yourself into the shoes of third party test. Third, you need to build appropriate safeguards. Okay, that's it. Then fourth, we discussed about the NOCLAR, non-compliance, which is applicable for CA in practice as well as senior level chartered accountants who are in the decision making level authority. So for them, NOCLAR becomes applicable and they have to take certain set of actions like discussing with the management, discussing with the lawyers, okay, seeing, reporting it, documenting it, so that they can prevent that imminent non-compliance, or if non-compliance happens, they should go and tell. So this is applicable for the listed entities in India. Okay, that's it. This is about the first part. The second part, talk about your domestic code of ethics. So first thing, we started with the CA Act. So we started with the membership. So who can be a member? They told you that regulation has told that the one who have completed 3 years of articleship or 2 years of articleship, GMCS, advanced ITT, and the heart of this CA course, CA final exams, they will be entered in the register of members. Now, is there any person who cannot be entered? Disability. Yes, they told about certain disabilities. They told about 6 disabilities. That someone who has not attained the age of 21, incompetent, like unsound mind, undischarged insolvent, okay, criminal. So these people cannot be entered. Okay, once you are entered, what you are called? You are called ACA or FCA. Fourth, what you will do? Okay, can your name be removed? Yes, there are 4 circumstances in which you can be removed. Either you are dead, or you only requested, and who have paid the prescribed, not paid the fees, or his name was entered and he attract the disability, any of the disability. Now there was a concept. Okay, someone asked yesterday that restoration. The restoration is applicable. Restore means from the date when it has been removed. It applies only in one circumstance, when fees is not paid. Otherwise, if somebody has requested, sir, please remove my name, they can again apply with the condition delay and other fees and fines, whatever. Since they have already complied with the, like for somebody doesn't want to become the part of the committee, and afterwards they can always again they become the committee member. See, we have got that freedom in India. But restoration is not going to happen. That means in between that period, you are not the member. So we understood about the removal. Then can you, if someone who is not a member, see the flow here. They were given the study material. First they talked about who can be a member. Now when you cannot be a member, despite you have fulfilled all these things, all these conditions are fulfilled, but still you are not a member. What you will be called, when you will be removed, and what if someone falsely claim to be a member? Yes, 1,000 rupees imprisonment, 5,000 rupees punishments. So these punishments have been told, but the more khatarnak is the imprisonment for 6 months. So if somebody is not a member or is not a practicing, but they tell they are practicing, so they should not tell. Okay. Now comes the major part. This is all simple. So now, what you will do as a CA? What you will do? That's the first question. See, you become a CA, you become a member, because till the time you become a member, your only goal in life is becoming a member. You became. Chalo, you are not attracted by any disqualifications, nothing. But after you become CA, what you will do? See, there are 2 avenues. Okay, so I will explain it separately below. What to do? You can practice, or you can get into anything other than practice. Now, what do you mean by practice? See, because we need to have a clarity. Because I see regulations have told if you have become a member, that means this is my first condition. You become a member, you will be bound by the regulations. And they told something like being a member, you should not do something which a practicing people are doing without holding COP. If that is the case, we will remove your membership only. That is very khatarnak. Okay. So now what is that I can do? I should not be doing, which a practicing CA is doing. And now we need to get a clarity because see, they are not given this clarity. They said anything you do, no problem. Anything, you don't do anything, you sit at home, no problem. Thing, that is not, we cannot define that, what you can do. Okay, only thing that you don't get engaged into any profession which bring discredit. That smuggling, murder, don't get into such profession. You will remove your membership. That we have already seen in the fundamental principles only. Your professional behavior should be there. Any dignified job you do, not an issue. Okay, now we need to get a clarity about practice. Okay, what is the traditional sense? What type of work would have been considered as a practice? That's why we come across a concept called a deeming. We deem certain work done by certain our practice, some CAs are deemed to be in practice. That means they are done, considered to be done by a people in practice. That means this person, this work, what is deemed to be in practice is an exclusive area for COP holders. You do anything in the earth, but don't come to this particular area of the work, which is deemed to be in practice. Means this type of work is considered to be practice. That's why we are saying deemed to be in practice. Other than that, if I am not going to tell you the type of work which is deemed to be in practice, which is considered to be practice, deemed is more like a considered, assumed to be in practice, then you are free to continue without COP. But if you want to do any of these acts, you have to get COP. Some of these acts, like for example, tax representation, it may not require you to have certificate of practice, because when you go in front of the income tax department, it's not required that you should be a practicing CA only, because Income Tax Act permits anyone to be represented by the SSC. Now, can you go there? No, because this one tax representation is one of the work of a practicing CA. You just cannot go to the income tax department telling you are chartered accountant or you are a lawyer, because you are already a member. Once you have become member, people will recognize you by your membership. They say you are chartered accountant. So you cannot simply go and tell that, look, I have come here as a BCom graduate, I have come here as a company secretary, lawyer. No. If you become a member, it is very important that if you want to work in this particular area, which we call deemed to be in practice, you have to hold a COP. Without COP, you should not do this type of work. Means you set up one office, like primarily you set up one office. Okay, now you can ask me one question. Sir, I will set up one office and I will do real estate business. Now, is that real estate business is deemed to be in practice? No, then you can do it. You do a real estate business. No, not a problem. Sir, I want to set up one coaching business. I want to have an office and there I'll sit and I'll do the coaching. Okay, is it deemed to be in practice? No, because coaching is permitted, but it is not a deemed to be in practice. Coaching also you can do. But I want to do tax representations. No, that is not permitted, because that is will be falling under these services. I hope this concept is very clear to you, students. What is the concept of deemed to be in practice? Deemed to be in practice means there are certain there are certain type of work which, if done by anyone, we are treating them to be in practice. Like real estate, it is not deemed to be in practice. You can do it. So you need not hold COP. But if you see that any of this type of work which is deemed to be in practice, then only and only way you can do it is by holding COP, not just becoming member. Okay. Now, what are those type of work? There are primarily four categories of work. First category, accounts related work. That means you can set the exam accounts, you can prepare the financial statement, you can prepare the asset register, any type of accounting related work you can do. Then you can do audit or review examination related work, like investigations you can do. Okay, audits you can do. verifications you can do, certifications you can do, somewhere primarily in the nature of audit. So first work is your accounting related work. The third thing, see, you can be very intelligent. You see, in both the cases, you are an executive. You are involved in that work. You execute it. In accounting or auditing work, you are there doing this type of task. But what if you give only consultancy, like a doctor? He will not do operation. He will just tell you the consultancy, like consultancy on accounting related principles, like maintaining books of accounts or whatever. Any certification of the financial facts, data, any consultancy if he gives, no, that is also part. You simply cannot sit and give consultancy by opening office and say, I'm not into practice because I'm not doing accounting work, I'm not doing audit work. No, consultancy part is also considered. Plus, there are 28 type of management consultancy services. Okay, which we have gone through that list. Okay, different type of consultancy services. Plus, there are something more. Okay, if I have to just show you, if I just go back, before they start with section 2, subsection 2, clause 4, when they start defining management consultancy service, they also say that, look, your management consultancy services do not include audit. Okay, that part we have already seen here. But they also say that it doesn't include tax representation also, or advising on tax matters. Then you don't tell me, sir, we are consulting, okay, account, we are consulting taxation matters. Taxation is law. No, your consultation will include your tax matters also, tax representations also. By its very nature, it looks like a lawyer's work, but you can do it. It is also part of your practice because it has got an accounting flavor there. Then we will see something like this later, which they have told at the end. Okay, then you will ask me, and they have given some 28 type of services. Clear? So what they are trying to tell here, these are all the activities if you are going to do by setting up your office. You may not have a single client, that is different story. You have set up your office and you are offering these services. That's why they say that it will move with the grammatical variations, cognate expressions. That means you can call it by yourself any name, practicing CA or engaging into it, I am doing it, okay, I am doing service. You can call it by any of the name. But if in principle, if these four type of work you are doing, then you are deemed to be in practice. Now, can you do? Obviously, yes. Who will stop you from doing? How? Go and apply for COP. What if you don't apply for COP? Then it will come to your membership. Be careful. Because this becomes professional misconduct because you are not following the regulations of ICI. And as per Schedule 2, they can remove your membership for doing such type of things. Okay. Then one more doubt comes to your mind. Sir, wait. I will give you some more clarity because you told real estate is fine. Okay. Can I be an employee of someone? Obviously, you can be an employee. Do I need to hold COP? Not required. Even though you hold COP, you can hold COP. You can be a full-time employee plus hold COP, but you cannot do any attest signatures. Sign signature you cannot do. Then you will ask me, sir, what is the advantage of this COP? I can tell you something like this. This is one of the advantages. Why you can hold COP along being an employee. See, for example, 2007 I cleared. 2017, I had always at the back of mind that I should be into practice. But I went for employment initial days to get experience, to make a corpus money. And 2017, I realized, okay, this is the time now, I should go back to practice. Now, in my case, what happened? My certificate of practice is dated, COP dated, somewhere say 1st of September 2017. So if anybody asks you from when you are practicing, if anybody asks for applying, when I apply for something, like they will ask from which date you are practicing, then I have to tell that from 2017 I am practicing. I became member in 2007. I am practicing from 2017. Ulta, if you would have been applied a practice in 2007 only, see, by now I told you already, FCA you can become, even with the industry experience also you can become an FCA. And whenever you want to apply COP along with the employment, you have to take the permission from the ICA, and the ICA says don't sign. And the day you resign and you tell ICI that you have resigned, automatically and apply for COP. Okay, no, so you have already applied. The day you have resigned, that means you are considered to be in full-time practice now. So if someone asks you, you apply for the job, like you apply for some assignment, they will ask you from which, what is your COP date? You can tell have got a COP from 2007. So you have got a recognition that okay, you from the day you become member, your practice is also considered, like your experience is also considered there. That's why your COP become dated old, 2007, that 10 year back only. Instead of telling 2017 only I started my practice. There you need not give the explanation, description that I was working in industry and all. Let them evaluate you based on your skill and capability. But somewhere you get this is the only advantage you can have. Okay, now you ask me one question, sir. Wait, can I hold the COP and be a full-time employee of a practicing CEO only? Because you told me like apply for COP and you come back to practice. So instead of working in company like Vedanta into a finance department and all, why don't I work with the practicing CEO only so that I can get the relevant experience? Yes, you can do. You have got one special exemption. They say that if you have got a COP plus you are in a full-time employment with the practicing CA, then you are deemed to be in practice only for one reason, that is to train one article student. So your employer can get one more article assistant based on your COP. If you don't hold COP and you are simply full-time employee of a practicing CA, under you, no people can be trained. But if you hold COP, one person can be trained. This is one of the advantages. I hope this part is clear. Then you can ask me one more question, sir. Wait, I'm holding COP. Chalo. But if I get one option, like for example, the court tells me it appoints as a liquidator, or we have already seen the investigation chapter, the central government under section 212, they can appoint an inspector. Now, since I have worked similar experiences, I have got that experiences, like I had got that investigation experience. Can I take liquidator's job, inspector's job, or there is one society, housing society, they appointed me as a secretary, means for payment only. What a secretary will do, they will appoint the meeting, they will file the returns with the say registrar, they will see to it that all the formalities of like your meeting and other stuff, compliances they will see. So can I be that liquidator? Can I be that receiver? Can I be the valuer? A valuer, so we have seen already, it was there in the 28 services, valuer for financial assets only, not for your PP and other stuff. Now you ask me a question, so can I be this, take these positions? Yes, you can take these positions. Okay, but only thing is this should not be full-time job. That means if you are becoming a full-time inspector of government of India, because you must have written some examination, you get into IPS or something, you become an inspector. Now, can you hold COP? Obviously, that's what I told you. Nobody is going to stop you from holding COP. You can always hold COP, plus you can do full-time job with the government, you can be part of the court, you can be a full-time secretary of when very big housing organization is there. They are offering you 2 lakh rupees per month. You can be a full-time secretary there. You can hold COP, yes, you can hold COP, but you cannot sign. But if you are a part-time, that means you are holding COP, but not your full-time employment in this stuff, yes, then this type of work can be taken. This is what they are trying to tell here after they have finished. See, first of all, you are very clear, no? The tax representation also forms part of your deemed to be in practice, that is permitted to you. 28 type of work is permitted to you. And here they say, look, you should be in your professional capacity. Like you, there is one temple, you have become a secretary of that temple. That is your personal capacity, leave it, because it is not concerned with anything. But in your professional capacity, that means you want to get the payment, money you are getting. So if you are a honorary position you are taking, take it, no problem. That is in your personal capacity. We are not going to bring it here. Okay, there is one housing society and you have become a secretary there, leave it. But in the professional capacity, if you want to be, okay, nor in your capacity as an employee, yes, you can be a liquidator, you can be a trustee, you can be an executor, you can be an administrator, trustee of a trust, arbitrator, receiver, advisor, representative for costing and taxation matters, or takes up appointment of the central government like an inspector, state government, or a court can appoint you, or you can act as a secretary. So these are all the type of work are permitted for a practicing CA, but not on full-time basis, but on part-time basis. Means not like a, means you can do full-time liquidator type of work only, but you should not be into salary basis. You should be like a freelancer type. Like you don't have any practice, you don't have any tax audits, you don't do anything, but you are secretary only for different type of housing organizations. That means that's your full-time work. From morning till evening, this is only you do. But none of the clients, you are an employee. Then you can do it. Because why? Because we want to bring that independence part here. Plus focus. Okay. So your just the act of setting up the employment on itself will create establishment only create it. And we have seen that somebody got, he is a practicing CA, that's very important. He got one appeal for representation, GST. Can he do? Yes, he can do. Already we have seen that taxation representation can be done. But it should not be on a salary come full-time basis. Okay, now one more provision is there, okay, that is with the armed forces. Now see students, it is always, see there is a special privilege for the people who will work as a military. You see, if you travel by flight, train, okay, after they come back, because see, these are all the people who protect our country. And first of all, the concept of king is required, country is required for protection only. Otherwise, somebody will come and destroy us. So there is a special privilege given for. Okay, there is one question. Can we hold COP and do another business along with the practice? Obviously, yes. Which business we can do? We will see that. That's why when we come to the, what is it called, your type of, one of the clause called clause number 6. Okay, so not 6, 8. We will see what type of business we are permitted to do. We will see that. So there I will tell you which business we can do, which business we cannot do. Okay. Yes. So I was telling about the armed forces. So since you see students, whoever are the ex-army people, they have got a lot of provisions. Say like they have got a priority, they have got some concessions in the train. So now in order to promote the youth to get into army, air force, navy, so the government of India has made a provision in the Chartered Accountants Act. They said, look, if you are a CA and you want to get into armed forces, now what type of work you do? Generally, you will not go with the military part like killing the enemy and all. That's not your job, because by your very training, you are very good in numbers, bookkeeping, and your army also requires that systems. Okay, so maybe you may give services with regard to the logistics, okay, stores, whatever. But you are a member of the army or navy or air force, armed forces. So in such cases, what they said, look, we will treat you like deemed to be in practice. Follow? Okay, so that means you can hold COP, a signature to we cannot do, but we will permit you to be into this type of work. And later when you realize, see, generally they will not continue for long. So generally after 10 years or 15 years, people take retirement. Then what happens? See, after you come, you see some of the military people, see, they don't know what to do. They have come back. Okay, they have done sufficient service. Okay, they have got benefits. But their skill sets are different. So that's why our ICA also thought, look, why not let us give them that provision, that COP related, like deemed to be in practice. So that once they come back, they can start their practice again here. Okay, so that's why these people are also considered to be deemed to be in practice. That means you can be into armed forces, you can hold COP, and it will be considered as a valid practice only. Okay, so this question we have seen yesterday. Then section 144 of the Companies Act tells certain restrictions. It says that, see, you can give some services, right? Now, can you give any services to any client? No. There are some restrictions given by section 144. And it is only applicable for an auditor. They said, if you are an auditor of a company, for that client, even though a practicing CA can give some job, but for that client or for its holding company or a subsidiary company, you should not give some services like accounting and bookkeeping. Now, can you, as a practicing CA, can you give accounting and bookkeeping service? Yes, sir. That is the very first service which was told. But can you give to your auditee client? No, because self-review threats comes into picture. Can you give internal audit? Yes, definitely we can give the internal audit service, but not for my auditee client. We cannot design and implement any financial information system like IT system, Actual services I cannot give. Investment advisory, investment banking, outsourced financial services, management services, or any other service. See, management services, they are very silent. What does it include? So we may have to take the clarity from ethical standard board. Like what type of management services you don't want me to give to my auditee clients. Okay. And any other conditions which may be prescribed from time to time. So in order to avoid self-review threats. So the company that has come with this, that means a practicing CA can do all of these tasks, but he cannot give these services to the auditee or their subsidiary or the parents company. Now, so these are all the work which has been given. Certain services not to be given by the auditor, and you know already at the inter level and all you have studied it. Okay, now let us go to the illustration number 2. Mr. A, a practicing chartered accountant. See the key. See every place. See we have come across only one instance, friends. Only one case that somebody was whose COP was cancelled. He went to do tax representation and he said, I am a member of the institute. It is not required that I have to come here with the COP. Then you will tell all this deemed to be in practice. You cannot tie it, not. Okay, so once you become a member, you are bound by the regulations. That's the only one place. But rest all the places we are going to come across that somebody is already practicing CA. Okay, he agreed to select and recruit the personnel, conduct the training programs on behalf of the client, where he is not providing any assurance services. See, if he is doing on behalf of the client, maybe it will fall under the management services. Okay, where you are training the people, HR related work. Okay, you will be charging. Okay, so in that case, it may create a conflict. Tomorrow they will do some mistake, and you as an auditor, you will verify. They will tell, you only trained us like this. So you may oversee that mistake. That's why it can be a service which cannot be provided. That's why they said very specifically, you are not providing any assurance service. Is this a professional misconduct? Okay, first question comes. As a practicing CA, can you do this recruiting service and training program? Yes, for this we will have to go back and to see that type of services. Now, is your recruiting, personal recruitment and selection is included? Yes, it is included. And can you do the conduct the training, wages, plan, etc.? You can do that. Okay, somewhere we have seen this training also. So you can get involved in the training of the people. Okay, training of the staff. So you can do all such type of work. Yes, so you can say that. Yes, providing the management consultancy. So you have to quote about section 2, subsection 2, clause number 4, deemed to be in practice. So you have to tell about that provision, and they say management consultancy and other services includes personal recruitment, selection, and it includes the development of HR, conducting of the training program, job description, incentive plan, evaluation of the workload. So these are all included. That's why he is not guilty of professional misconduct. So from now onwards, see, your answer pattern will be like this. First, just like in law, you would have written in the intermediate. First, you need to write the provisions. Then you have to connect that provision to the given case. So you need not repeat the case as it is. Okay, in the given case, this type of service is provided, and this is the catch. And finally, you have to give your conclusion. So there are 3 parts. So I hope students, by now you know it very clearly. So always write the provisions first. So it's very important, students, you should know whether the provision is coming from CA Act or regulations or ICAI Council guidelines or ethical standard board reviews or your court decision or your some other like government MCA directives. See, that's very important. That's the catch of this chapter. First of all, everything should be mapped in your mind. If any question I ask you, see, there can be so many hypothetical questions. So can, out of academic interest, you may ask. So can this type of thing can happen, that time you can always ask. But primarily, whatever they are going to give you in this question paper, in the study material, that you have to be very thorough. If they say that, okay, can you be an valuer? Immediately your mind should go to CA Act, section 2, subsection 2, clause number 4. If they say talk about the disqualification, you have to go to CA Act. Sometimes they talk about the website. Okay, you have to go to ICA regulation, ICA Council guidelines on website. So you have to quote that particular para at the beginning. So again, we are not going to repeat these students. Rest of the time, we will straight away go because we need not read the answers every time. Okay, so we can just have the understanding about what type of questions. See, all the time we used to always read the answers. So from now onwards, first part is always the provisions. You have to write the provision as it is because it is actually a law. Your CA Act is like an Income Tax Act or Companies Act. So first you need to write the provisions. That provision could have come from the regulations or act or your guidelines. Then you have to explain to the connect it to the given case. In the given case, you not repeat that story and give your conclusions at the end. So conclusion will fetch you 1 mark. Provisions will majority 2 to 3 marks, and 3 to 4 marks will go for your provisions, depending upon, and maybe 1 mark for the way you connect it to the given case, your interpretations. Okay, let's simultaneously we'll see here also. Is there any more questions, or are we done? Company is not to engage in accountancy. Now, section 25 of the Act says that no company, whether incorporated in India or elsewhere, shall practice as a chartered accountant. And what is the meaning of this? So, the meaning is like this. You can practice, once you become a CA, you apply for COP. You can apply for COP as an individual in your own name, like Nagabhushan Pai, practicing chartered accountant. Or I can apply as a sole trader, proprietary concern. So what I applied was Nagabhushan Pai and Co. But I am the sole person. Or two people can come together and apply in the name of a firm registered under partnership. With the partnership deed, they will register. So they can say and Co. and associates, whatever you can tell. But they are the firms. Or these two people can apply as an LLP. That's it. These are all the only 4 ways you can register yourself as a practicing CA. One, you can be an individual or a proprietor or a firm or an LLP. You cannot form a private limited company with the 2 chartered accountants and apply for COP. No company shall practice. That means you cannot practice in the name of a company. Why? Because you have got a problem with the lifting of corporate veil. In all these cases, I can make you personally responsible. If you are involved in any irregularities, I can send you to jail. But when a company comes into picture, company is an artificial judicial person. It has got its own legal existence. Why LLP was brought? We will talk about it later. Why LLP? Because LLP is also an artificial judicial person. But it operates differently from a company. Separation of ownership from management is not there in LLP. But here, you have got to say somebody must be managing, somebody must be owning, that all issues will come. First of all, they said like private limited company and all you don't form, we are not going to permit. There is another concept called a practice in corporate form. That means you can still form a private company. But that business should be different from your practicing business. That means your COP related work you can do in your firm and your management consultancy works you can do it through that private company. That we'll see that later. Okay, so first of all, you are clear, friend, no company shall be formed. And again, they told in this LLP also, if you have got any company as a partner, can you have a company as a partner in LLP? Yes. Can you have a lawyer as a partner? Yes. Can you have a architect as a partner? Yes. You can have a partnership with the LLP or firm. But if you have any company as a partner in your LLP, then we will not permit you to get into audit. So you can have only with other people. And who has to sign? Not any partner can sign, mean a lawyer cannot sign on your behalf. Practicing CA only should sign. Okay, so we will see these provisions later as we proceed further. Yeah, but interesting notions. You come to know now what is happening, like how these provisions are created. Yeah, please ask me doubts. I feel very happy. Okay, I could see some questions which is coming, but please ask. Now, here the company shall include limited liability partnership. Okay, they said here, a company shall not incorporate shall practice. No company shall practice as a chartered accountant. Here, the term company shall include limited liability partnership, which has company as its partner. See, first of all, private company to out. You cannot form any company to practice. Then you ask me, sir, what about a private LLP? LLP is also a company only, no? Yes, but if that company has got company as its partner, then you cannot practice. Yeah, because tomorrow, no, that lifting of corporate veil issue is going to come there. Second, if any of the company contravenes this provision, okay, without prejudice to the any proceedings that may be taken against the company under Companies Act or whatever, the CA Act section 25 gives the power that every director, manager, secretary shall be punished with the fine of 1,000 rupees or subsequent conviction of 5,000 rupees. Again, 1949 punishments. Any of these type of things don't happen, students, because being a CA, you are so self-regulated that it is very rare you find people like in our community, because that ethics and all always by default comes because you don't want to take that risk. Yes. Now, in addition to section 141(2) of the Companies Act, where a firm, including a LLP, is appointed as an auditor of a company, only the partners who are chartered accountants are authorized to sign. So, when are you permitted to form an LLP and register yourself as a practicing CA? Yes. Can you have partner, like for example, three partners are there and third partner is a lawyer? Yes. This is called a multidisciplinary firm. But can he sign? No. Either you can sign or this person can sign on behalf of the LLP, because both are CAs. But, and if this person is a full-time employment somewhere, no, then you only can sign. He cannot sign. So, a partner who is a partner of LLP should be only a chartered accountant. Though LLPs are allowed to appoint as an auditor in accordance with the Companies Act, they cannot engage into practice if the company as its partner. Therefore, it can be inferred that the LLP not having any company as its partner can be engaged into practice. Yes, I hope it's clear. Now, next is your designation. So, if you look at the flow, first of all, how to become a member. So, first they spoke about your membership, very basic. First part of the section in your, they spoke about your membership. Who can be a member, whose name can be entered, how they need to do, what can be removed. Then second, they talk about what you can do. So COP related, what work you can do when you are deemed to be in practice. Then third, they will talk what designation you can carry. What designation you can carry. Okay. So it's easy, right? You can remember the flow. First you talk about the membership, different aspects of membership, restoration of membership, removal, then practice. Okay, what is that when you are called ACA, FCA, but they are not designation. Please remember, they are acronyms. Acronym is different from designation. Like system analyst is a designation. Okay, BE is an acronym. BCom is an acronym. FCA. Okay, so what we spoke was only an acronym, not a designation. Designation is something, okay, which makes people to understand you. Who are you? Okay, you go with your designations. Okay, because it represents a position. Designation represents a position. Acronym represents your qualifications. Okay, so you may be a qualified, you are an FCA, but what exactly you are doing right now? That is position. A system analyst is involved in the systems, but a B could have been in data administration also. So data administration is a position, because position tells you what work you are doing. Are you clear, students? Difference? Yes. So before we proceed, we will see some of the Q&A. Before we move on to the designation, let us see. There are some more. See, two illustrations we have seen, but there are some more Q&As available in your test your knowledge and all. We will see it simultaneously. And whatever we have seen in the study material, that is also covered. Now, Natraj is a practice accepted assignment as an advisor and consultant to the public issue of the shares. Can you be that? Yes, we have already seen that you can be a consultant to the public issue. You can appoint the agencies. You can do that, but you cannot be a broker, underwriter. Okay, that we have seen. Now, shares, helping the company as an advisor, yes, that's permitted. You could have done that. So, you will quote section 2, subsection 2, clause number 4, deemed to be in practice, management consultancy service. So, all the story you are going to tell. He also underwrote the public issue. No, this is not permitted, because the explanation gives one exceptions. They said you cannot be a broker, you cannot be manage the portfolio management services, you cannot be the underwriter, because these are all the places where you take a risk and your full-time focus will be to sell that, because you are taking risk. And so you may pressurize your client, you may be focusing on, because you are taking risk. You are not that stress-free. No, you being an advisor, you are stress-free. You are not in a stress. You can bring your independence there, but you may have to compromise your independence if you are into underwriting. to the extent of 25% at a commission. Remaining shares were underwritten by the banks. He contends that the above assignments is part of the management consultancy service of the institute. Do you agree? To tell no, you will get 1 mark. Decide in light of applicable code of conduct. See, here you will not have any problem, students, in identifying which chapter. By looking at the question only, you will come to know that they are asking from chapter 19. Okay. So now, which is that concept they are talking? That's what we have to identify. So here they are telling that you are involved in some type of work. Now, should I talk about your initial day COP, or should I talk about the business related provisions? Okay, then as we go further, you understand that this type of work, okay, can you involve into any type of business is discussed here primarily, that underwriting, broking and all. So first you talk about, see, in another exam they asked you portfolio management services. No. So first you tell your answer, what the section 2 clause 4 says. So in that you bring that resolution. Okay, that means the resolution was passed by the council members. What type of work is permitted? So you have to talk about this advisor, consultant. You have to tell this provision will fetch you 3 to 4 marks. In the given case, contention is not correct. So he is guilty of professional misconduct. So be careful. What they ask you. Here I asked, do you agree with the view of Natras? Simply say no. In this question they ask, is P guilty of professional misconduct? You have to say yes. Please understand, students. In this answer, in the first question, you get the mark for writing this. And in the second question, you will get the marks for writing this. Ulta. Here you tell that he is guilty of professional misconduct, you will simply lose 1 mark. Or he says that this contention is not correct, you will lose 1 mark. So always look at what exactly they are asking. Sometimes they may ask you who is correct. You have to tell that person is correct, you will get 1 mark. Your conclusion has to be according to the question what they have asked. Don't simply mix it. If they say, are they guilty, you tell yes or no. There is one question. Okay, can I be in employment and a partner in my friend's firm with COP? Yes, you can be, but you cannot sign. You can be into employment, and the moment you apply for a COP, you have to tell ICA that you are already into employment. Then ICA tells don't sign. No, because some people, what they do, no, some people are into employment also and they are showing full-time practice also. But be careful, because what happens, no, ICA may take your PPF, PF investments and all, like your employer is deducting, because that PF investment shows employer's contribution also, because there is always an evidence. So ICA can ask you, show me your PF contribution statement. So you have to give, and if it is found that you have been into service full-time, without informing you have taken full-time COP, this becomes professional misconduct. So ICA can take action against you. Followed, no? So now, can you be, the first thing you have to remember, students, you can be into full-time employment, plus you can hold the COP also. Only during this time you should not involve in any attest functions. Nor you should be doing any task by setting up office, like morning you go for employment, evening you sit in the office and do these tax matters, okay, GST returns and all. No, that is also not permitted to you, because they are all meant for the members, because you are in full-time employment. You can be into part-time employment and do this. Then there is a restriction, 28 hours per week only you should be spending in there. Then you can do this. A second question comes, sir, can you be a partner with the existing PC? Yes, because that's what we will see now. Later, in schedule 1, they told with whom you can be a partner. They said that you can be a partner with another member of the institute. Yes, you can be a partner. But it will like a dormant. Tomorrow, you are not counted for your tax audits, because you are already into full-time employment. So, because every firm, according to the member, like for example, one member will have a 60 tax audit limits. You are into full-time employment, holding COP and be a partner. Your firm will not get 120. No, because you are not considered as you are like a dormant partner there. Can they take you for article students using your COP? No, nothing. You are not considered. You don't exist. Followed, no? The only advantage, if you are in a practicing firm as their full-time employee, then your COP can be used to train one person. I say is so many regulations are there, friends. You have to read. Once you come into practice, you have to go through that regulation, attend seminars there. Here they are giving only some gist of some extracts. But feels good, your questions. Please ask me. Okay, I can see at least many questions coming here. Curious questions, which never came. Okay, but please ask. Let that curiosity come and let this get translated to other subjects, other chapters, other subjects. I want that activation of that curiosity. Okay. Now we have seen now. Okay, let us see one examination question. What they have asked. CA Neha, a chartered accountant in practice, approached a startup company for raise the fund. Now, company requested her assistance in guiding through the selection of advertising agency. Can she do? Yes. Selection of agency. Somewhere they have told, no, here. Preparation of budget, selection of ad media, brokers, collections. Yes, you can do that. Coordinating with the bankers, obviously, why not we will do. Brokers to the issue is something which we cannot do. Besides helping as an advisor, she also underwrote the public issue to the company. That is, broking and underwriting is not permitted. She contends that the provision of code of conduct is not binding to such services, which is wrong. Do you agree with the view of Neha? You say, no, we don't agree. Tell that very clearly. Analyze the facts and give your comments with the applicable code of conduct. So again, same story you are going to write here. Everything copy paste. At the end, we don't agree with the says Neha. If you want, tell additionally that she will be guilty of professional misconduct to be on the safer side. Okay, but what I want, so you have to tell that Neha is permitted to provide the advisor and consultancy services, but not the other thing. He is not correct. This is the keyword I would wish to see in your answer. Because the question is she correct? Now, what is its implication? That she would be guilty of professional misconduct. Right from your pocket. Whether you'll get marks or not, leave it. But don't miss this particular pair. Okay, done. Now, Ram is a practicing CA. Okay, this already we have seen. Okay, model test paper. He does not provide 3,50,000. You remember, no? We have already seen that Ram can provide this. Yes, he can provide this. We refer here, professional capacity can attend the taxation matters. Practicing CA, agreed to select recruit personnel. Illustration 2, already we have seen. Yes, we are done. Now, designation, students. Next, we will go to the designation. Okay, so here, membership and COP, chapter 2. Yes, we have done. Now, we have to talk about the disabilities also we have done. Removal of the membership is from the register also we have done. Now, we have to talk about the designation, section 7. I told you the flow goes like this. First, study material talks about your membership. Then they talk about your work. Then they talk about COP. But what I suggest you, just now let us have just a plain reading about this, because there is already one clause which talks about the designation later. So, you in the examination, you can write section 7 or you can write that particular clause in the first schedule. See, section 7 is already quoted here. Now, what section 7 talks about the different forms, and because they have mixed here, it is not only section 7, they have brought the clause related, everything they have brought here. So, we are going to see the same repetition later. First, what are the provisions related to the designation? Okay, first of all, are you aware, students, this designation, why did we get this designation? You know that, why we are called chartered accountants? Can you please tell in the chat box? Why we are called chartered accountants? Does it make any sense to us to be called as a chartered accountant in India? Yes, anyone can tell? Because generally you may think that there is one act called the Chartered Accountants Act. That's why we are called a chartered accountant. Okay, quickly I will tell you, students, there is one story. That's why section 7 is so very important, why they brought this section. In 1913, it started. Okay, so you need to have this understanding to go further later. Understand later. So in 1913, okay, first time Companies Act 1913 segregated ownership from management. So now one question came, because till that time our company was like LLP, owners themselves used to manage. So the audit was not that important, because management owners had the access to the books of account, they could verify the data. The auditors are more like internal auditors. But first time in 1913, exactly 100 years back, when the clause was introduced in the Companies Act that ownership is separated from management and ownership has got access only to financial statement and not books. First time one question came, who will audit now? Who will give that assurance to the owners? That's why they started to look for independent people. So at that time, there was no clarity. So there was one concept called a certificate, restricted certificate and unrestricted certificate. Restricted certificate means you can go to some municipality and apply for certificate and tell that you are a practicing CA or you are that having qualification. You can do audit only in that locality because your accounting gap, Indian accounting gaps were different in different places. Unrestricted certificate means across India you can go anywhere and practice. So this system went from 1913 to 1918, sorry. In 1918, government came with one first examination, pure accounts exam. Till that time, there was no pure accounts exam in India. It is called a GDA, Government Diploma in Accounts. Then they said, look, Baba, going forward, we'll scrap this certificate concept. Whoever passed this examination, only we will give them authority to sign the financial statement. Now, at the same time, there were UK Chartered Accountants also. They did not write any exam because they have passed the UK Chartered Accountants exam in UK. So we had 4 type of people: certificate, restricted, unrestricted, GDA, UK Chartered Accountants. So in 1932, they formed one accountancy board, like we have got ICSE, CBSE, State Board, Education Board. And they said, we will bring a system called 4 years of articleship plus 2 exams, inter and final. Like whatever we are seeing today, this version started in 1932. So now they said that whoever clears the final examination after completing 4 years of articleship and all, no advanced rated GMCS and all at that time, you can enroll yourself in the register of members. And from then only we will permit you to sign the financial statement. Now one question came, when we enter them, that's why concept of register of members came, whatever we have seen, no? First membership, register of members. Now one question came, what do we call these people? Then it was decided by the government of India under UK government that we will call these people as registered accountants. Now our people become very angry. They said, sir, this is discrimination because there were chartered accountants. Their designation is chartered accountant and in bracket they have to write India. And we have to, whenever we sign, we have to write registered accountant in bracket India. And people used to generally respect their chartered accountants more. So we always ask, sir, please give us this designation, please give us. But this matter went to UK and UK Parliament rejected this. They said, no, we cannot permit the Indians to use the designation called chartered accountant because if they permit, they will fool the general public. See, such an insult we faced. Such a discrimination we faced. You see, no? You see one YouTube video. One monkey is given one grape. Another monkey is given cucumber. You know what that one experiment was conducted on monkeys. Huh? 2 monkeys were kept on the cage nearby to each other. One monkey was given grape. You see that experiment in YouTube. Another monkey was given cucumber. You know what? See, if cucumber was given, that monkey would have eaten. But when it saw the nearby monkey was given a grape and I have been given cucumber, that monkey throws that cucumber. See, that indiscrimination is there at a monkey's level. And Baba, we are humans. How do we feel? So we fought. We said, no, Baba, we need this designation. But we were deprived. So we were always given, being an Indians, we were always given that second level, that you cannot grow up, whoever you may be, how much talented. Okay, you see, today students, we don't have that. Huh? So in 1947, today, August 15, we became independent. But are we independent India? No, we were dominion India in 1947 because UK was our head, technically. We need their support. When we really become sovereign India, it was only in 1950, Jan 26, when we came with the constitution. That time we said, UK, we are completely independent now. Because in 1947, Baba, on one side China, another side Pakistan, this side Bangla. See, anybody could have eaten us. Anything could have happened. That's why even though UK had left, they were technically ever had to oversee that no big problems will happen. China will not overtake you. So we always had their protection. We always wanted the diplomatic relationship with the UK in 1947. So again in 1949, see, please understand friends, before we became completely republic, Government of India called our leaders. They asked, look, till that time we were governed by one minister as a board, accountancy board. Like today, state board. You have one state minister for education, no? They will set the syllabus. Huh? They are involved in the question paper setting. Now, our institution, our leaders were called and asked by the Government of India, look, we will give you complete autonomy in the form of an act. That too, we will give you a monopoly over your profession. Plus, we will make you self-regulatory organization like RBI. You regulate yourself. We will trust you. Will you take this responsibility? Our people said, excellent. This is like independence in independence. So then they asked one question, tell me what you want to call yourself. We will bring the act in the same name. And we told, this is what we have been fighting from 1932. You give call our chartered accountant. But our country was not willing to give that designation to us. They said there were some problems because we have to take UK's permission in 1949. But UK was okay this time because previously UK rejected that request, calling ourselves as a chartered accountant. But this time UK problem was not there. But our Ministry of Commerce, because today we are in Ministry of Corporate Affairs, but at that one time we were under Ministry of Commerce. They said, look, Baba, chartered accountant makes no sense in Indian context. Next year we are going to come with the Constitution of India. In Constitution of India, everybody is equal. Now tell me, when we are becoming a republic country, which king is going to give you charter there? Charter means you have to bend in front of someone. Does it suit you? Does it make sense in Indian context? That's why you ask any designation of the word. You call yourself certified public accountant, registered accountant. You call any word. Take, but don't take the CA. It doesn't suit you. But our leader said no. Who? This Anand Kapadia, I believe, the first president of ICA and all. So they said, no, we want this designation only. The reason, they said like this, we will take two financial statements. One is certified by a chartered accountant. Another is certified by the registered accountant. We will give this financial statement to the investors and we will ask them only one question. Which one you trust? They always know, Gar ki murgi dal barabar. If a signature is of a registered accountant, Arey Baba, he is an Indian, what he will sign? You see this guy, he has gone to UK to study. And always I told you students, after you see this designation, name doesn't matter. You start trusting such people even though you don't know them. Because you go with their designation. That's why they, in 19C, if they would have permitted us this designation or whatever, or this discrimination was not there, even we were also equally respected, then probably our act name would have been Registered Accountants of India Act, and we would have been called a registered. I would have introduced myself, I am a registered accountant. But because of all these things, and see, we fought for this designation. That's why we take in pride to tell that we are chartered accountant. And there is one section 7 for this, telling there should not be any suffix, there should not be any prefix, don't add this with this, don't do this. They take pride in telling that you are chartered accountant. Because it is not easy, it was not given free of cost. Our ancestors fought for it. They went through humiliation. If you don't understand this story of why we got that name designation chartered accountant, then this particular section looks like, Arey Baba, why so much natak and all. But see students, from 1949 they are protecting this designation. Inflation has never eaten us till now. I told you this story. It's not like any other designations. Okay, doctor has lost today. Surgeon has become important designation. But our profession, yes, still it holds the same value which was holding in 1949. Keeping this in the context, now you read now. So the members are permitted to use CA as prefix, irrespective you are in practice or not. Very good. So you know that you can always write a prefix. But CA is the prefix only, not a designation. Now, member in practice cannot use a designation other than chartered accountant. Nor he can use any other descriptions. whether in addition to or substitution thereto, but who is a not in practice and does not use the designation of a chartered accountant may use any other description, but not designation. That means if you have got a visiting card, because you will tell now, your name you will tell. Now, what is that designation you will tell? Chartered accountant. Can you say lawyer? Lawyer is also a designation. Cost accountant? No. You have to tell so and so chartered accountant. Along with, can you tell certain descriptions or acronyms? Yes, which all permitted only you can tell. If something is not permitted, you cannot tell such descriptions or acronyms. Now, what if I am not a practicing CA? I am into employment. I am a CFO of a company. Yes, you can use the word designation, chartered accountant. You can say CFO. Okay, you can use any other designation, but don't tell the word chartered accountant and together. Okay, we want you to call yourself chartered accountant. Feel proud to be called yourself as identified as a chartered accountant, because you don't need any other designation to get that recognition. This is our intent. Nevertheless, a member in practice may use any letters. Okay, description is different. Description is like systems auditor description. Letters or description indicating shall be deemed to prohibit any such matter from adding any other descriptions or letter. Okay, leave it, because it's a very technical language. They said a member in practice, you can underline what I am writing. A member in practice may use any other letter or description indicating membership of such other institute of accountancy. Okay, so that means they have permitted me to either use the letters or descriptions that you are a member of so and so institute of accountancy, whether in India or outside, as recognized by the council in this behalf, or any other qualifications that he may possess, or firm, all partners which are members of the firm being known by, okay, leave it, that means he may possess, full stop. Now, if there is a firm, all the partners of which they are the members are known by its firm name, chartered accountant. That means if you have a firm, your firm name should be chartered accountants. S comes into picture here. If you are an individual partner, you are called a chartered accountant, no S. So you are an individual, this is your designation. If you are a firm, this will be your designation of the firm, chartered accountants. That means we understand that you are a firm of chartered accountants having members. Okay. Now, what if you are a merchant banker or an advisor? Can you call yourself as a merchant banker? Because that's also a designation. A members may apply for and obtain registration as category 4 merchant banker. Is it permitted? Yes. Already we have seen that you can be giving some advisory services, some merchant banking services and all you can give for raising of the funds. Already we have seen this. You can get into services, but you cannot do some type of work. Now they said that you can apply for category 4 merchant banker. Now who is this category 4? Now who is 1, 2, 3? We will see under the SEBI rules and act only as an advisor or a consultant to an issue. Okay, for this first we need to know who is that category 1. Category 1 is the highest level merchant banker and they can do all type of activities, underwriting, portfolio management, etc. Category 2 are another type of merchant bankers. They cannot do underwriting, they cannot do PMS, depending upon certain net worth. Then there is a category 3, they also know issue management, depending upon certain amount of net worth. And category 4 are the lowest category of the merchant bankers who will act like advisors, issue advice, timing, amount, how much to raise, because this is what you study in AFM. Previously you had a decision, dividend decisions, okay, financing decisions. So you got a strategic decision like when we should raise the IPO, when we should, what amount we should be raising, what will be my debt equity ratio. This is you cannot become any one among the 3. 1, 2, 3 category you cannot become, but you can become a category 4, but only as a consultant. Okay, now one question comes. In the client's offer documents, advertisements regarding the capital issue, the name and address of the chartered accountant or the firm of chartered accountant who is acting as an advisor also will be included. Okay, so you can, because why they will include? Because you are a reputed firm. Like for example, you are EY. Oh, people trust EY. And if they know that you are that advisor to the issue, they will have that more trust now on this IPO. Now, in the offer document or in the advertisement regarding this capital issue or IPO, the name and address of the firm of chartered accountants acting as an advisor to the issue, you will include. Fine. Now, will you tell the name, or can you tell under the caption, under the heading, advisor or consultant to the issue? Yes, you can tell that. Please understand. You can tell. But you cannot use certain designations under the heading advisor or consultant to the issue. You can tell the name and address of the chartered accountant or accountants. However, the name and address of the chartered accountant should not appear prominently. That means this is your offer letter. This is your offer letter. Everything you are written in small letter. And who is your advisor? Like in the bold letter you are written, EY is our advisor to the issue. Everything is in the small. Now what they are trying to do? This is not acceptable. They may be trying to take your credibility as a background, or you might only put it in the highlight so that I will get some publicity, visibility. No, your name should not appear very prominently there. It should be like any other thing. Okay, I hope it's clear. A startup is planning for an IPO. Like instead of straight away going for merchant one, no, because merchant one are very costly. They will, one advice, no, they will charge you 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs and all. So what they can do? They can go to their chartered accountant only. Okay, they can look into feasibility analysis, compliances, etc. before hiring one merchant, category 1 merchant bank. So this type of services can you give? Answer is yes. You can give merchant banking services, but only category 4 as an advisor. Can your name appear as an advisor? Yes, it can appear as an advisor. Okay. Second question comes. Can you be a director of the company? Yes. What type of director we'll see? Can you be an independent director? Obviously, without permission, you can be an independent director. Now, directors of the company, members of the political party, positions in the club. Now, the members of the institute who are also the directors of the company or members of the political party like MP, MLA, okay, like Piyush Goyal is a chartered accountant. Okay, so some people are chartered accountants or chartered accountant cells in the political parties holding different positions in the club, like Lions Club. You are holding some lion position there. You should not permitted to mention these positions along with your letter in your visiting card. You cannot say Nagabhushan Pai, chartered accountant, comma MP. No. If you are an MP, have one more visiting card and tell Nagabhushan Pai MP. Don't bring your business and that political connections. Okay. So don't bring that visibility there, because don't try to make designation as a tool to advertise yourself. Because this is how people advertise. No, they always start with their designation. When they add 4 or 5 designation, oh, people start listening, because they will take designation as a tool to advertise. No. And you have to be very careful when you are using, okay, don't undermine our chartered accountancy also, because other designation should not look very prominent, attractive than chartered accountant. You tell you are chartered accountant enough. So if you say, I am a chartered accountant and an MP, member of the parliament, that's also a designation. Now tell me which one gets the weightage. MP will get the weightage and your chartered accountancy designation is undermined. People don't care. Oh, you are MP. Don't say you are chartered accountant. They say no, we will not permit this type of things. So you understood the intention, students, why they are doing this. Now, what if you are a cost accountant? Yes. A member cannot designate himself as a cost accountant. So in your visiting card, you cannot say I am a chartered accountant, I am a cost accountant, but you can tell ACMA, FCMA after the which is the number. That means I can say Nagabhushan Pai, chartered accountant, BCom, FCA, ACMA or FCMA. I can tell that. Same thing for FCS, company secretary, FSC. But I cannot say chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary. Designations not permitted. Permission to mention the qualification of institutions. You have got a permission to membership of the foreign institutes, which is recognized by the council, with which you have got a memorandum of understanding, like with Australia, England and Wales. There is a mutual understanding. That means, what is that? See, this is called section 29. Okay, there is something called a mutual understanding. See, you must be aware about one incident, students, that in 2004, I believe, UPA government came into picture. Okay, and Sonia Gandhi was about to become the Prime Minister of India. Done, everything, every stage was set. She would have become the Prime Minister. At that time, Dr. Abdul Kalam was the president. Why she didn't become the Prime Minister? Okay, there's one reason. Everything was stage was set, and she has to just go and give her nomination or whatever the formality. There was one guy called Subramanya Swamy, okay, who brought that 2G spectrum scam, everything. No, he informed Abdul Kalam, look, in Italy, if someone can become a prime minister, that person should be the origin of that particular country only. That means if you happen to be a person of Indian origin, like in UK, like we see, Rishi Sunak, he became a prime minister. Means UK's law permits someone from another origin to become the prime minister. So now question comes, okay, in India, can we permit a UK person to become a prime minister? Because prime minister is a very, among all the positions of India, the most powerful position is the prime minister. Because if someone, see, there can be internal threats also, no? That person can coming from another country, they may have favored that country. So many things can happen. So now question comes, can a person from UK become a prime minister from a UK origin? Yes. But why not from Italy? Because there is one rule in Italy that from another origin you cannot become the prime minister here. This is called reciprocity. We have got section 29 of CA Act. Every act has got one section. If they say that if you give some treatment to our citizens in your country, same treatment we will give to your citizens in our country. So every act will have, and we have got section 29 Chartered Accountants Act. They didn't discuss. If you want, please go and see that. That means if our membership is recognized in your country, your membership we will recognize in our country. This is called Memorandum of Understandings. So they said that with all those countries where there is the memorandum of mutual recognitions, understanding and recognition, then we will permit you. Tomorrow, Australia, you call yourself CPA, Australia. Then you are Australian CPA also, Indian CA also. Then you can say Chartered Accountant, Nagabhushan by Chartered Accountant, BCom, FCA, CPA Australia. I can tell that. Followed, no? I can tell that acronym or that description of the association with the foreign. That's what they told here in the first place. Member in practice can use other letters representing the membership of other institutes of accountancy recognized by the council through MRA. Okay. Now one question comes, can I call myself Nagabhushan by Chartered Accountant, FCA, CPA, USA? No, because we don't have any mutual recognition agreement with the USA. That's why they told very categorically, don't use the designation called CPA. You may be a CPA, you may be a US CPA, but in your visiting card, the CPA word should not be visible. Now, other qualifications of the member, I hope students you are very clear. We are going to discuss it again, don't worry. We are all this what you are going to learn now. Again, we are going to discuss as per the part of the schedule. At that time, we will move fast because already we have discussed. This was told by Subramanya Swamy. That's why that prime ministership gone and Manmohan Singh was brought. This is the similar thing we have got here also. Now, other qualifications. Now, with regard to the other qualification which is permitted to be mentioned, following observations of the Supreme Court on AICPA become very important. Okay, see now there is one clash with the ICFI, Chartered Financial Analyst, versus the ICA, which happened in 2007 or 11. The expression of any other qualification that he may possess, therefore, must be read qualification other than conferred with the member upon the member by other institutes of accountancy. Such qualification of accountancy may be conferred even by other institutes also, but as noticed, the exemption has been granted by a resolution of the institute or Institute of Cost and Work Accountants only. Okay. Furthermore, the degree conferred by any university is subject to an exemption from this. See what happened here. They didn't tell. Anyhow, you need not bother much. But what is this fight with the ICFI versus ICI? See, there was one institute called Chartered Financial Analyst. They are monetary, like money analyst. Now they started to tell their members CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. And our designation is FCA. Chartered word is coming. Okay, analyst and FCA. So this created confusion. Now, what our ICA said, look, you should not be using this designation. They said, whoever are the members of ICI, they should give up the membership of ICFI. If you are a member of CFA and you are a member of ICI, we want you to give up this membership. Don't give up that. We don't be, because they are our enemies. See, they are also calling by the word chartered. It is going to create a confusion. This matter went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said no, they are also free to give. Okay, you please look into your business. But what our ICI said, look, through internal regulations, see, we cannot tell you can become a member or not, because that is your freedom of your freedom. You can be a member of any institute. But what I can restrict you from telling in your visiting card along with chartered accountant those things. You don't want to call yourself chartered accountant, don't tell. You have one visiting card called a chartered financial analyst. Use that designation, tell anything, none of our business. But if you bring the visiting card and say that you are a chartered accountant, then whatever designations we permit, that only should write. BCom, can you tell? Yes, because any degree confirmed by the university, subject to exemption from the rigorous provisions of section 7, yes, BCom is permitted. We can write. FCA is by default, they are told. See, FCMA, yes, they just now they told, because they have given or passed a resolution to give the permission to CMA, ICWS. USCPA, no, they said no, don't use. CFA, they said no, don't use. So like this, we have to be aware what designations our ICI has permitted to us to use. There cannot therefore any doubt the other qualification means anything which is subject to the recognition by the ICI. If ICI has not recognized it, you cannot use it. So university degrees, they have recognized. Now, for example, a member cannot designate himself as a cost accountant, but he can use the word FCMA because a resolution has been passed to permit this word. It is improper to state that you are an income tax consultant. No. Cost accountant, company secretary, cost consultant, management. See, these are all the designations. Among this, what you can use? You can use a acronym like this, ACMA, FCMA. Okay, so I hope you are clear, students. So the member are appear to allow before the authorities, including the company law board, because you may be a specialist. You may be already holding the company secretary certificate also. So you can appear before them. Law has permitted the same. Okay, but you don't call, okay, and when that time you may call yourself as a corporate lawyer. But if you want to call yourself corporate lawyer, don't use that designation along with the chartered accountant. Have two visiting cards. One is your corporate lawyer, another is your chartered accountant. We don't want to bring two designations together. Now, you are not permitted to use this initial CP also on your visiting card. I told you MRA, whatever they permit only. CFA though you cannot, because already Supreme Court case was there. So the members of institute in practice may also practice as company secretaries or cost accountants. That means you can hold multiple COPs. Such members shall not use the designation simultaneously. So in your one visiting card, there should be only one. But other ACM and all you can mention. Your membership with such other institutes you can mention, but designation should be one. You can hold two COP. Yes, you can hold two COPs if your institutes are permitting. And is it full-time practice? Yes, it's full-time practice. That means you can practice as a company secretary also. You can practice as a chartered accountant also. You can get secretarial audit from one side. You can get financial audit from another side. Is it full-time? Yes, it is full-time. That's why this is one concession given to three sisters, CS, ICWA, CA. In their company secretary course also, they have given this exemptions. And same thing applies there, practice. Okay, do we have any questions, students, up to now? Or is there any question in RTP, MTP? No, we don't have any question in RTP, MTP. So the next is related to the branch. Okay, are you clear? Yes, designation we will talk about again. Do you have any doubt till now? Whatever we have discussed. Yes, so branch again will continue in the next session, students, because branch is very big actually, and there are some good number of questions also. So I'll explain you in detail like what is the provision of a bank, because somebody can use branch office as an advertisement. You see, no, we are the chain of 27 chains, and people will show in their visiting card the list of branches they have. And when you see that somebody is having 20 branches, automatically you get one confidence. Oh, this person must be big. So what you can do? Simply you can open branches. No, there are some regulations. If you want to have a brand, because people will use this as an advertisement mode. Our ICA is very clear. They say that let the client come to you looking at your work, not by advertisement. Advertisement won't sustain. That's why they have put so much restrictions on you. Your designation is also, don't use it like an advertisement. Don't make me to undermine the CA degree. Whatever. So one more question is there before that. Okay, chalo, no questions. Thank you, students. So we will continue in the evening session. Evening 6:30 will start, and we will see about the branch, and that is the last concept, because with this branch we are done, I think. Then we will move on to the schedule, and this is the heart, because this is the portion where you are going to come across a lot of questions. I can say 50%, so definitely we are going to cover here only. Yes, once that is done, professional ethics is complete. Yes, thank you.